All right, guys, after so many people have been let go from work, after so many businesses have gone under, after so many lives have been ruined, you might have noticed that we're beginning to ease some of these restrictions and requirements. A lot of schools, they're dropping the mask requirement. You might have noticed that a lot of the mandates are going away. And we have a whole new war to focus on. And, election time is coming up. So we're focused on a lot of things. So I understand if you might overlook what is just one of the biggest stories of our lifetime that just dropped recently, as you see that Pfizer has been forced. They've been mandated by the government to come forth with their documents showing what they knew before they mandated everyone to take that shot. All right, so I don't know why, you would think this would be all over the news. You would think more people would want to know about this. But since I've been talking about it for over a year, I feel like it's my duty to actually give my thoughts on the Pfizer papers and the Pfizer documents and why they wanted to hide it for 75 years. So let's talk about some of the side effects and things that they knew about before they wanted to put this in everybody's arm. Let's talk about it, guys. This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. And listen, I want to say right up front, okay, because I know inevitably when you talk about things like this, the pitchforks come out and people want to call you anti-vaxxer and all that stuff. I'm so over that. But listen, I've gotten all of my vaccines. I'm just not this vaccine. I've always been that way. I will always be that way. I told my son, if anyone tries to force you, you have my permission to try your best to neutralize them at all costs. All right. But yeah, I don't believe in that because I feel like we just didn't have long enough to, figure out what was going on there, and also, as far as side effects, it's like I was paying attention, all right? And I know a lot of you guys were too, all right? But I do want to talk about this, okay? I just wanted to offset that, okay? But this right here, this is something that is not being picked up by our media as usual. I have to find this on the Express, all right, .co.uk. And it says here, Pfizer vaccine. New documents uncover a shocking 158,000 adverse events. Pfizer have included the common gastrointestinal symptoms, fatigue, and brain fog as potential adverse events of the jab. According to new documents which have been released after a federal judge ordered the data to be made public. This had to be ordered by a federal judge. The Pfizer vaccine has largely mild and short-lived effects. No, don't do that. We don't really know that because there haven't been any real long-term studies. And as we're beginning to find out, this is, as time goes, you're learning more and more, okay? But new documents, which were reportedly obtained after doctors, professors, and journalists filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the Food and Drug Administration, have suggested new adverse events. I wonder if any of these doctors, professors, and journalists are the same ones, the same minuscule 250 ones who wrote that letter, trying to get Joe Rogan banned. Probably not. A federal judge in Texas ordered the Food and Drug Administration to make public the data it relied on to license Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. This is the data that we relied on to license this thing that they wanted to put into the arms of every human being. Okay, this is what they knew before they tried to do this or set about doing it. It is the first time the public is allowed to access the data Pfizer submitted to the FDA from its clinical trials in support of a COVID-19 vaccine license. When Pfizer applied for FDA approval, they were aware, when they applied for FDA approval, they were aware of almost 158,000 adverse events from their vaccine and requested that these documents remain sealed for 75 years. Okay? So they knew about these at least 158,000 adverse events, and then they requested that it be hidden from the very public that they're trying to mandate that they take this for 75 years. Even if you were born yesterday, the chances of you living to see these documents are kind of at best, all right? The vast majority of us in 75 years will never know what these people tried to do to us if it were up to them. All right, it goes on to say, according to Rio News, the list of adverse events in the documents include but are not limited to acute kidney injury, acute flaccid myelitis, anti-sperm antibody positive, brainstem embolism, brainstem thrombosis, cardiac arrest, cardiac failure, cardiac ventricular thrombosis. All right, so when you see all of those athletes, by the way, soccer players running around catching heart attacks and they're at the height of their physical health, all of a sudden, you don't know. There's no proof it has anything to do with anything. Well, kind of like use your brain, all right? Cardiogenic shock, central nervous system vasculitis, death, neonatal, deep vein thrombosis, encephalitis brainstem. What else? Encephalitis hemorrhagic. I don't know, guys. I'm not a doctor. Frontal lobe epilepsy, foaming at the mouth, epileptic psychosis, facial paralysis, fetal distress syndrome, gastrointestinal amyloidosis, generalized tonic-clonic seizure, Hashimoto's encephalopathy. Guys, the link is going to be in the description, okay? Hepatic vascular thrombosis, herpes zoster reactivation. Okay, the thing just, okay. Immune-mediated hepatitis. And then it goes on to like a bunch of stuff I can't pronounce. Jugular vein embolism. Juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. Liver injury. Low birth rate. Multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children. Myocarditis, neonatal seizure. Pancreatic pneumonia. Stillbirth. All right, they said it didn't do that. And remember, guys, this is not new information. This is stuff that they knew when they were trying to get this thing passed in the first place. This is the thing that they knew was going to happen to people before you force people to get it. Temporal lobe epilepsy, testicular autoimmunity. All right, somebody get Nicki Minaj on the phone after you had the whole world laughing at her. Look at what it says here. Testicular autoimmunity. Thrombotic cerebral infraction, type 1 diabetes mellitus. All right, I'm just reading the stuff that I can pronounce. These are among the 1,246 other medical conditions following vaccination. As per the documents, over 25,000 nervous system disorders were reported. This was accompanied with 17,000 muscular, skeletal, and connective tissue disorders, and 14,000 gastrointestinal disorders. All right, so that's the end of that article, guys, but this is just the beginning because they just started releasing these papers. There's going to be even more over the coming months, okay, because they have to release all of this by the end of the year. Keep in mind, guys, they wanted us to wait 75 years before we got this information, but now it's coming out, and my question is, where's the media in all of this? Why aren't more people talking about this? All right, this is something that, like I said before, if you knew this, if this was made public before they tried to push it on everybody and threaten you with our jobs and schools and, just about everything you can name, if after you knew about this, you chose to do it, you chose to get jabbed, more power to you. Okay, the only thing that I've ever objected to was forcing people to do something that had not been proven safe. So I've had people come into my comment section to insult me, to attack me, to say they're going to unsub from me. Okay, I've had videos taken down. I've been flagged, but all of it has turned out to be true. And I knew it because I take my channel very seriously. I'm not just going to be saying some shit knowing that it's bullshit. And I wish that the media had been doing the same thing. But I talked on video about the question of who we trust. All right. And now it's come around. We've been trusting all of the wrong people. And proof of this is another question I want to ask. Where is Dr. Fauci in all of this? Where's he at, guys? You don't see him anywhere. 1 minute you're seeing him all over the place. He's on every panel. According to Dr. Fauci this, and according to Dr. Fauci that. Now, all of a sudden, when these things come to light, you don't see him anywhere? What, is he taking a vacation? You know, what's going on? I think you can put two and two together, guys. This is what the deal is. This is what's so outrageous. This, when you consider that they made us do this for our children, all right? Our children as young as 6 months, knowing what some of the side effects were. Not even all of them. Not even telling you what the long-term effects will be, because we don't know. That's probably the reason why they wanted to have it sealed until like 75 years from now. That's why. They wanted to protect themselves as much as possible. Now, I'm not saying that some people didn't gain something from getting the jab. Some people didn't gain some protection that is waning like every 3 months, but I'm not saying you didn't gain something from it. All I'm saying is that if you're the type of person who thinks just because nothing happened to you and that you feel safe taking it, you think that justifies the people who have been damaged by this, the people who have been killed by this, then you are a miserable person. You know, you're just the worst person ever, because all you're thinking about is what you got out of it. And ironically, these are the people who say that anti-vaxxers are the selfish ones. Anyway, guys, I wanted to do my part to put that out there, to give this thing a signal boost. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make a difference. Why do you think people are not talking about it? Is it just not important that all of these adverse reactions were hidden from us, you know, until after the majority of us were made to feel like we had to take this? You know, maybe it's not important. Get in the comment section. Tell me about it. As always, you can like, you can share, you can subscribe. Catch me on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey. I'm out there, guys. Thank you for listening again. I'll see you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.